You wake up feeling sick and you have 30 seconds to decide gym or no gym. Make the wrong choice and you could turn a 4-day cold into a 2-week nightmare. My name is Coach Jen and I'm about to give you the exact framework where you can make this decision scientifically, not emotionally, and know when to train through illness safely, when to modify workouts to speed up recovery, and avoid the mistakes that extend sickness. You'll learn the exact symptoms that mean for you to stay home, how to modify training when you're borderline, and why most people get this completely wrong. Stick around until the end because I'll reveal the one body system that determines everything, and most people completely ignore it when it comes to making this decision. Your first decision-making tool is going to be the above versus below the neck rule. If your symptoms are above the neck, such as a runny nose, sore throat, mild headache, sniffles, these are peripheral symptoms, meaning they're localized and not affecting your whole system. Generally, you can train with these, but with modifications. Now, if your symptoms are below the neck, such as having chest congestion, coughing, wheezing, body aches, fevers, chills, anything that feels flu-like, these are systematic symptoms, meaning your whole body is fighting something serious. If you have any of these, do not train, completely rest, and that's the end of the story. Even with the above the neck, below the neck symptoms, there are different levels of severity that require different approaches. If you're dealing with more complex health situations like recovering from surgery, managing chronic illness, or navigating major life stressors that affect your training, this framework is just the beginning. I work with clients one-on-one to create personalized protocols for exactly these situations. Now let me break down the 3 categories that will help you make the right call every single time. Category 1 is going to be mild peripheral symptoms. Light runny nose, maybe a slight sore throat, but you still feel strong overall. You're not dragging, you don't feel weak, you just have some minor symptoms. You have 2 options here. Option A is to keep the same weights and reduce the sets by 1/3. 6 sets turns into 4 sets, and you keep the intensity and reduce the volume. Or option B is a recovery session. Cut both the weight and the sets in half. So 200 pounds turns into 100 pounds and 6 sets turns into 3 sets. This keeps you moving without stressing your system. Now category 2 is going to be moderate peripheral symptoms. A significant runny nose, bad sore throat, but still no fever. You probably feel pretty crappy, but it's all above the neck. Option A is to have multiple recovery sessions until you feel better. Cut the weight to 50% and cut the sets to 50%. Option B is to completely rest. Sleep extra, eat extra, and let your body completely focus all of its energy on getting better. Now category 3 is going to be systemic symptoms. You have a fever, severe fatigue, body aches, and anything that feels flu-like. This is complete rest only, no training whatsoever. Training with a fever can literally turn a 4-day illness into 2+ weeks of being sick. Your immune system is already working overtime, and if you force it to also handle muscle repair because you're training, you're asking for more trouble. When you can understand what's happening with your body while you're sick, then making these decisions is a lot easier. So with muscle loss, this is going to take about 2 to 4 weeks to see any significant muscle or strength loss from not training. Up to 3 weeks off has a minimal long-term impact. Any loss that you think you see during this first week or 2, that's actually glycogen and water loss, not actual muscle loss. In terms of what's happening with your training and your immune system, they are competing with each other. They both require massive resources for your body. So when you're sick, your immune system handles illness and recovery. And when you train, it also has to handle muscle repair. Trying to maximize both at the same time usually results in poor outcomes for both. Now there is actually a little paradox here. Light exercise can actually improve immune function. Moderate intensity, moderate volume, cardio can help expedite recovery when done appropriately. The key word is appropriately. This brings me to my favorite method for making this decision when you're in that gray area. When you're unsure whether you want to train or not, just do this. Go to the gym. But don't commit to a full workout quite yet. Do 10 to 15 minutes of light cardio with walking on the treadmill or easy bike ride, but nothing intense. After these 15 minutes have passed, assess how you feel. If you're still lightheaded, lethargic, or feeling worse, just go home. Your body just told you what it needs. And if you're feeling better after that light movement, then you can proceed with a modified training session. As I mentioned before, you can either reduce your sets or do an entire recovery session, reducing your sets and reducing the weight. Utilizing this method takes the guesswork out of your decision making and letting your body tell you what it needs instead of trying to decide from your couch when you feel terrible. Now this gym test works great for simple illnesses, but when life throws you a bigger curveball such as post-surgery recovery, dealing with chronic fatigue, or managing training around medical treatments, you're not going to use this same approach. Now I have to make sure I remind you out of common courtesy, if you're contagious, stay home. I don't care how good you feel or how much you want to train. Respect other gym members and don't spread your germs in public places. If you have a gym at home, that's different, but if you're going to a public gym, make sure you're not putting others at risk of getting sick. Now, optimal recovery prioritizes sleep and nutrition. This includes extra rest, and that helps you accelerate healing. Don't try to push through systemic illness because it always backfires. And when you're ready to return back to training, remember that glycogen and water returns quickly once you start training again. Any temporary size or strength loss recovers rapidly, and it's always better to take a few extra days off than to extend your illness duration. As promised, the body system that controls everything. This is your autonomic nervous system. It controls your heart rate, breathing, digestion, and immune response. When you're sick, your sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight, is already activated. Adding the additional training stress on it means you're going to suppress your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your rest and digest nervous system. And this is responsible for your healing and recovery. And this is why training backfires when you have a systemic illness. Now, light movement can actually help you shift into a parasympathetic dominant state, which is why the gym test works. But intense training when your nervous system is already stressed, that is going to be a recipe for disaster. And just to tie this all together, the cost-benefit analysis always favors rest when you're in doubt. A few extra days of training is far better than turning a minor illness into a prolonged severe one. Your long-term progress depends way more on consistency over months and years than never missing a single workout. So I'd rather that you take 5 days off and get back to 100% than push through and be at 60% for 3 weeks. And most importantly, remember, if it's neck to the head, go ahead with modifications. And if it's neck and below, it's a no-go. This video covers the basics of training when sick, but life is rarely this simple. Maybe you're recovering from surgery and you don't know when to start training again. Maybe you have an autoimmune condition that makes these decisions more complex, and maybe you're dealing with chronic stress, sleep issues, or hormonal changes that affect your recovery. This is exactly why I offer my one-on-one coaching. I work with ladies to create personalized training programs that help them get lean, fit, defined, and really create that all-around identity congruence in who they think they are and how they actually show up in reality. Whether you're navigating post-surgery recovery, managing chronic illness, or dealing with high-stress periods because you have a busy, demanding life, or you just want a coach who understands that life happens, I'm here to help you stay consistent with your fitness goals, no matter what curveballs life throws at you. Click the link in the description to schedule a consultation call where we'll create a personalized plan that works with you and not against you. You can follow me on Instagram at Jenn and like this video if this framework was helpful for you. Subscribe for more evidence-based fitness content, and I will see you in the next one.